old friend. I'd like you to wreck my ass the same way you wrecked Tokyo. You got it, bro! Yeah, you like that, bro? You like my big meaty dinosaur dick, bro?
Guys, we don't have time for this. We must team up.
Team up? I could go for a threesome, bro.
No, stop it. It'll take all three of us if we want to stop him. We must team up if we are to defeat
Ghidrah, the three-headed monster. Or Ghidorah for the non-plebs. The three-headed monster battles Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan for the world. Man, it's not every day a poster so perfectly sums up the plot of the movie. Hell, it sums up the plot of 2 movies for that matter. Kudos.
And yet somehow, it still doesn't prepare you for how batshit this movie truly is.
Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster is a 1964 kaiju film produced by Toho Studios, and was a direct sequel to the previous kaiju film Mothra vs. Godzilla, which is not to be confused with Godzilla vs. Mothra, of course. Anyway, basically, Toho had so much success with their previous giant monster mashup, they decided to up the ante with a completely new monster. This time, though, based on Japanese folklore.
And here's where the legend of Yamato no Orochi enters the equation.
According to Japanese mythology, Yamato no Orochi was an 8-headed dragon, and his tail is not that dissimilar from that of Western dragons. Long story short, a Shinto god slays it in order to save a woman, whose sisters were of course all eaten by said dragon, and the Shinto god's reward for defeating the dragon is a sword made of its tail and the woman's hand in marriage. So naturally, when Toho was looking for a monster badass enough to take on not 1, not 2, but 3 of their best kaijus, they turned to the Yamato no Orochi for inspiration.
Enough backstory though, because it's time for us to put our heads together and to fight as one. For this week's Martian Meteor Mayhem is none other than Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster.
You can call this shit Ghidrah all you want, but that is clearly the Godzilla theme. I gotta admit though, these titles really do tip the scales. Jeez, movie spoilers! Now I know Godzilla's in this. Also, much like Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan, this movie was also directed by Ishirō Honda, whose name is completely butchered in just about every English dub's credits for Godzilla only knows what reason. Meanwhile, in Disney's Peter Pan, a group of scientists monitor the night sky. But what is it they're looking for, I wonder?
I'm afraid we failed again tonight. The flying saucer people are obviously on guard against the unbeliever.
Flying saucer people is the technical term, of course. The layman term is space bitches.
I know I said these were scientists, but I'm seriously starting to question their credentials.
The brainwaves of your cynical thoughts have gone up there to those ships.
Wait, if it's cynicism that's keeping the aliens from Earth, then commentary YouTube must be their fucking kryptonite.
Anyway, the quote-unquote scientists condescend this poor reporter girl something fierce, when suddenly something appears in the night sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the symbiote from Spider-Man 3! Or is it the slugs from Slither? And what about Lavos? Man, it's hard to keep track of all these amorphous space rock monsters.
Fun fact, Amorphous Space Rock Monster was my nickname in space camp, on account of the fact that I used to leave craters when I shit.
Following the celestial collision, we're introduced to Detective Shindo, our protagonist, as he's assigned the daring task of protecting a foreign princess.
Well, the royal princess, according to a top-secret report, there's a plot to assassinate her.
Call me crazy, but maybe you'll want more than one guy to protect her at that point. And you also might want to avoid grassy knolls. And tunnels, for that matter.
Meanwhile, in Dr. Claw's lair, we find out that the bad guys have already planted a bomb on the princess's plane. Don't worry too much though, because a voice from the heavens arrives to save the princess from her explosive fate. And I'm not talking about her assistant's glorious collar either, though that is also to die for.
Stand up and leave this place.
Man, that's not even close to what the Sky Voices say to me.
Horror Guru, stand up and pee on everything.
Funny enough, I think that voice also talks to my dog.
The mysterious voice guides the princess out the plane, which then explodes into cardboard. Following that, we're introduced to Professor Murray and his team of geologists on an epic quest to study the crashed meteor. Over the mountains and through the woods to Ghidorah's egg we go.
Gosh, look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, it's almost the size of my student loans.
Huh? Look at that. Oh, the pig's gone away.
Man, I haven't seen this many tools gathered since the 2017 Unite the Right rally. Elsewhere, Detective Shindo is informed of the princess's untimely demise, but weirdly enough, he takes it in stride.
Sad pretty girl like that murdered for political reasons.
Would it be happier if she were ugly?
But wait! Later that day, a prophet appears bearing a striking resemblance to the fallen princess. Who is this mysterious woman, and where the hell did she come from?
To say I come from the planet that you call Mars.
We're here from Mars.
That come from Mars?
I guess we can travel in space now, huh?
See what I tell ya? Space bitches.
Wait a minute, she's from Mars? But I thought women were from Venus, according to outdated gender stereotypes.
Actually, fun fact, in the original Japanese cut, she was from Venus, but they changed it to Mars for the American cut because I guess Americans just don't know other planets.
Anyway, Martian Woman Hunter here predicts the end is nigh, and that the destruction of human civilization will begin with a great tragedy at Mount Aso, which, for those of you who don't know, was the volcano that ultimately defeated Rodan in Rodan. Gee, I wonder how the general public takes this.
Are you a boy or a girl? Why don't you do striptease for us?
Ah, jeez, it's like a bad Reddit AMA, except in real life, so way worse.
Back at the meteorite, the geologists discover that the meteor has a magnetic pull, which comes and goes at random.
Look, sir. I think it's getting bigger, isn't it? It wasn't so big before.
Maybe it's happy to see you?
No longer required to protect the princess, Detective Shindo returns home, where we meet his sister Naoko, who also happens to be the reporter from the beginning of the movie. So everything comes full circle. Enough about that though, because now it's time for something completely random.
The show you've been waiting for. What are they doing now?
Masturbating. There. Saved you a click.
Actually, it turns out What Are They Doing Now is a Japanese variety show in which old celebrities are brought in to perform via viewer request. Basically, it's American Idol for has-beens, otherwise known as Dancing with the Stars.
Tell us, who would you like to see again? Who is your favorite performer?
Mothra.
Mothra?
Ah yes, Mothra, that famous performer of nationwide destruction? I'm not sure you know what a performer is, kid.
You mean you can't do it?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but after all, a science fiction monster.
Is it really science fiction if the monster actually exists?
Obviously, they don't have Mothra behind that curtain, so what the hell do they have?
The twin fairies from Mothra's Island.
Oh yay, the fairies are putting on the very show they were forced to do when they were enslaved. Isn't societal subjugation fun, kids? Anyway, if you never saw Mothra vs. Godzilla, by the end of the movie there were only 2 Mothra larvae left. However, it turns out in between movies one of them died, so this film will only feature 1.
Rest in peace, secondary Mothra. You died as you lived. For plot convenience.
Meanwhile, on Stock Footage Island, the movie kindly reminds us of Mothra's backstory while the girls sing a new song called Call Happiness. Though if you ask me, it looks more as though they're about to break into Bohemian Rhapsody, which for the record would be fucking badass.
Why are you weeping, happiness? The wind and the mist will carry you near when we shall call for you, happiness.
Wait, who directed this? Oh. Makes sense.
Back in a completely different movie, Detective Shindo notices just how much the prophet resembles the princess. Except for some reason, she's not wearing her royal bracelet.
Well, suppose she took it off for some reason.
And that, my friends, is why he's called Detective Shindo.
By the way, Shindo's boss here is played by Dr. Serizawa himself, Akihiko Hirata. And as I've alluded to before, he was also in Mothra and Rodan, as well as countless other kaiju flicks. Seriously, this dude here is a goddamn cinematic legend.
So if you were wondering why I didn't make a bigger deal out of him in my previous videos, fear not, for I brought it up here.
Meanwhile, in Saudia Francia, Japanese Napoleon Bonaparte here is furious that his niece, the princess, appears to be alive. And if you think for a minute he and his minion don't look the least bit intimidating in those flower collars, get this. These things here? Yeah, they're called ruffs. So, if you wear them around your neck, then you're technically a roughneck. Enough said.
And what if she is the princess?
If so, you will kill her.
And then you shall call me Betty.
Back on the set of the Blues Brothers, the would-be assassin sets off to find his future-telling prey.
Where's the princess now?
She hasn't been around lately, Chief.
And that right there is a look that says, "Adjourn?" So Detective Shindo tracks down the princess's bracelet, which she apparently traded for this old fisherman's clothes.
On my way back from fishing, there she was, floating like a bit of cork on top of the water. I fished her out and brought her to shore.
And then I, ate her tuna, if you know what I mean.
Later, the princess warns the tourists at Mount Aso that Rodan will awaken soon. Damn, talk about a hat-tastrophe.
I can't go after it now. It's too far.
Why not?
Just buy a new hat!
I feel like at this point he's practically begging for a Darwin Award. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I feel my heart start a-trembling whenever Rodan around. And that right there is a look that says, I fucking told you so!
Wait, what? Roll that again. Huh. Apparently Rodan speaks fluent Godzilla. Who knew?
Man, this movie is practically the definition of, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Anyway, the fairy twins are about to head back to Infant Island when the princess arrives, warning them to not leave.
Captain, that Martian woman is on board. She says we can't leave port.
Put her ashore at once. No one tells me how to run my ship.
Aye, sir.
A Martian is one thing, but a woman? Can't have that now, can I? Harumph.
After being kicked off the boat, Naoko takes the princess back to her hotel room, where she's immediately spotted. Man, this dude really puts the shade in throwing shade, doesn't he? I guess he's just too cool for school. Oh, hey, look! Even without the boat, the twins still ended up stowaways. Speaking of the boat, though, what was the princess so worried about, anyhow?
Run! It's Godzilla!
Godzilla spots Rodan flying by and then torches the boat, assuring that the two of them will never be shipped ever again.
Again?
Don't you judge me!
Naoko gets distracted by Shindo, giving the assassins the perfect opportunity to strike.
Man, I got a lot to pick with you.
Man, I sure can't wait to see who wins this odd job cosplay competition.
If she really is the princess, there's a way to make her admit it.
Time to make her sit on a pea.
Actually, it turns out he threatens her with the knife that he killed her father with, but his plan is of course foiled by the ever-useful fairy twins. Enough of the plot though, because Godzilla's out here wrecking shit. Wait, what? Godzilla's apparently got teleportation powers because in this shot he's on land, and then in the following shot he's on water, but then he's on land again? What, when he crossed over with Marvel, did he steal Nightcrawler's powers or some shit?
Actually, this is a result of the dub. Basically, when they recut the movie to speed things along, they put the scenes together in an improper order, and as a result of that, Godzilla teleports now.
Anyway, where the hell were we? Oh yeah, Godzilla was fucking shit up.
He looks like a cat following a laser pointer.
Here, Goji. Oh, such a cute Goji. Back at the crater, the meteorite cracks open as the creature inside begins to form. Now this scene here is just too tense. Run, motherfuckers, run! Lavos is awakening and the world is doomed!
What is it? It's taking some kind of form.
Meteor ship!
Just kidding. King Ghidorah finally forms, and thus his glorious reign of terror can finally begin. Or we could cut to a peaceful, idyllic morning with zero destruction whatsoever. I suppose that works too. Seriously though, did Ghidorah just crawl out of his egg and then was like, see ya, wouldn't wanna be ya?
Actually, this is yet another case where scenes were rearranged as a result of the dub.
And you can tell they were rearranged because otherwise it would be a dick move for the princess to wait until after Ghidorah arrives to mention him. Come on, girl, don't bury the lead.
Centuries ago, the monster appeared in the skies of Mars. Within a month, the culture of Mars had been wiped out completely.
And that monster was called clickbait article titles.
Oh yeah, here we go. Godzilla on Rodan action. Now that's what I'm talking about. Get him, Godzilla, get him. Show him who's the king of this castle. You thick, sexy motherfucker, you. Holy shit, this is fucking hot. Wait, when did I take off my pants?
Not a word.
So, Japan's pretty fucked at this point, what with Ghidorah destroying everything, and Godzilla competing with Rodan to see who has the goofier facial expressions. Meanwhile, the Japanese Ministry of Defense is fucking useless. But wait, what about the twins? Surely they know what to do.
There's a way that might work. If Mothra, Rodan, and Godzilla all cooperate.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
This week on Ghidorah the Explorer, contrary to popular belief, Ghidorah doesn't actually breathe lightning. He barfs spaghetti. Blah, 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 blah. You just got linguini'd.
This seems to be the only solution open to us. Call Mothra. Call him right away.
Please, call Mothra, will you?
Hi, I'd like to make a collect call to Mothra, please. Sure, I'll hold.
Ghidorah lays siege on the Ministry of Defense while the twins summon Mothra, so that she may negotiate a truce between Godzilla and Rodan.
And yes, I know in this dub they refer to Mothra as a he, but fuck that shit. Mothra's a goddamn queen in my heart.
Yes, queen!
My moth senses are tingling. I must go. I hear the call of my people. Goodbye, cruel world.
I honestly can't tell if Godzilla and Rodan are still fighting or if Godzilla just wants Rodan to guess what he ate last night. Either way, Rodan makes sure Godzilla knows the proper pecking order. Back at the lab, we get the rare case a woman is drugged and not immediately raped. Now that's what I call progress. At least for my show, anyway.
Let's see. Maybe now we'll find out who she really is.
Just as we thought.
It's the curator, Mr. Wickles.
So the scientists finally conclude the princess has indeed been possessed by a Martian with prophetic powers. Though with a giant space monster on the loose, I'm not sure why they'd question anything at this point. One legit question does remain, though, and that's how the hell are they getting the princess's consciousness back?
Well, I suppose we can try shock treatment.
Shock treatment?
Oh my god, that's terrible. At least try Rocky Horror first.
The assassins arrive as the shock treatment is about to start, and it turns out this is one amp you don't want to go to 11. Forget all about that crap though, because Godzilla and Rodan are about to take their relationship to the next level.
I had to, okay? It was right there.
Okay, so they're not actually fucking, but despite that, Rodan still manages to get Godzilla up. Fly, fat ass, fly!
Ow, my balls!
So it turns out Godzilla's nutshot inadvertently saves the princess from her electrifying fate, which somehow leads to a shootout between Detective Shindo and the assassins.
Watch out, Doctor! The killers are here!
Oh god, shoot them before they play Mr. Brightside again.
Rawr, I'll throw a wrench in your plans! Detective Shindo successfully fights off the assassins, while the good doctor escapes with the princess. I guess your princess is in another castle after all. Meanwhile, Godzilla vs. Rodan has pretty much devolved into a slap fight. And good Godzilla isn't fucking hilarious. Not gonna lie though, Rodan does come across like a douche.
Come at me, bro. I got your tail, bro. What you gonna do, bro? Eat my dick farts, bro.
Damn, talk about Suplex City. Brock Lesnar, eat your heart out. And now Godzilla is literally kicking rocks. Pure fucking gold. By the way, remember when I said Mothra was gonna negotiate a truce between Godzilla and Rodan? Yeah, I meant that literally.
He's saying all three of us must fight together against this new monster to save the Earth.
The time is now, my brothers! With the fate of kaiju dignity in our hands, we must fight!
Ghidorah blows up a mountain and in the process crushes the car that was carrying the failed assassins. Maybe Ghidorah's not so bad after all. It's not like these negotiations are going well anyway.
These monsters are as stupid as human beings.
Yeah, but who are the real monsters, man?
Ooh, Godzilla, what terrible language!
Okay, low-key, that is my favorite line in this entire movie. I just love the idea that Godzilla swears like a goddamn motherfucking sailor.
Fuck you! Suck a fuck! Bite my scaly green ass! Taste my cunt waffle!
Mothra gives up dealing with the boys and decides to fight Ghidorah herself, but she gets totally wrecked. Don't worry too much though, because Godzilla and Rodan were apparently so moved by Mothra's heroism, they finally decided to tag in.
I think I can, I think I can, I think I can.
Look at this cheeky bastard. He's trolling like a motherfucker, and I fucking love it. Though I am legit confused as to why Godzilla's throwing rocks and not using his atomic breath like earlier. I just feel like Ghidorah is a way bigger threat than a fucking boat, that's all I'm saying. Oh yeah, there was an assassination plot, wasn't there?
Princess!
Actually, the bullet just grazes the princess, but it does help her regain her old consciousness back. Just in time for an avalanche to take out her traitorous assassin, too. Man, tangling with Ghidorah is quite literal, isn't it?
Don't tease me, bro!
I got your back, Rodan!
That's a lot of bukkake! Anyway, the Trilogy of Terror successfully defeats Ghidorah, who runs away like a little bitch. The princess then thanks Shindo for saving her life, and the monsters go about their usual business. The end. Well, sorta. There will be more Ghidorah films after all.
Goodbye! Goodbye, everybody!
So that was Ghidrah, the three-headed monster, and... what the fuck did I just watch?
Of the 3 kaiju films I've reviewed so far, this is hands down my favorite because it delivers the most bang for your buck. It's got some legitimately awesome monster fights, alongside some of the goofiest ones you'll ever see. Its human plot is one of the most insane and convoluted in Godzilla history, which is actually saying a lot. It's also got 4 of Toho's best kaiju and some really hilarious humor throughout. And on top of all that, the new Godzilla King of the Monsters is practically a big-budget remake of it. Seriously, go back and watch the trailer for that movie again, and then try to tell me this one was not the inspiration. On the downside, though, the dubbed Ghidrah cut removes a lot of good scenes and rearranges others unnecessarily. And naturally, some changes, like referring to Mothra as a he instead of a she, irk me more than others. But even with all those problems, the movie is still worth a watch. Anyway, if you're looking for a movie that absolutely deserves a Category 5 on the Pacific Rim Kaiju scale, then you should absolutely check out Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster.
And so there you have it. With this review, I complete my kaiju trilogy of Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster. And if you'd like to see me do more kaiju reviews like those 3 in the future, then feel free to leave a comment below. And with that all said, peace out, my fellow gorehounds, and I'll catch y'all later, most likely with a review that is not kaiju related.
Pull up a chair, deep in the crib, from a blood red chalice, you must take a sip. Sit right back for a flick, see gore and entrails and slimy ink. Welcome, you gorehound, the beating, dripping ooze. Welcome.
And the day was saved thanks to the Terror Tough Trio.
So Mothra, now that you, Rodan, and Godzilla have successfully defeated Ghidorah, what you gonna do now?
I'm gonna fuck everybody! Taste my Mothra jizz, motherfuckers! Oh shit, I think that was pee, actually.